understand what they did on the wall over there. They do that everywhere. It's kind of like the public restrooms too, where they put the toilet paper over the seat. You know, well, how do you use the toilet when the toilet paper rolls, covering one side of the toilet seat?
I'm very careful. I need to share, but I do need to fix it so other people can share.
Art.
Hey there,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Let me go adjust my volume so I can hear you a little better.
Guessing you're in the old Cali.
No, he's out of time. See,
Well,
he's floating around in the time zone.
actually that'd be
Actually, those are some clocks that a friend of mine makes, sells at farmers markets.
I was just realizing your time on that clock and it put you in like Anchorage or something.
We knew it in a different time zone.
Well, yeah, kind of. Those are, they're not synced up, actually. Yeah, I got a friend and business associate who lives up in the Russian River area of California. And one of the things she does is make these things and sells them at farmers markets. She's a manager of a couple of farmers markets up there. And so, at any rate, so Barry, haven't seen you in a while.
Yep, been a little bit.
Yeah.
You guys are getting a little heat there today. It got got to 80 in Milford.
It feels good.
No, don't.
Oh, okay. No, never mind. Barry says it doesn't feel good.
Too hot. Too hot.
It's too hot in the car. It's too hot driving. But yes,
So open the windows.
I did. I did not turn on the AC because that just seemed like a waste right now.
Well, the AC in my mom's new car died yesterday.
Was this
Yeah. We have this ongoing discussion about my wife's comfort range, which is plus or minus 3/4 of a degree.
I was going to say my wife's is negative. It's either too hot or too cold. There's no central zone.
Well, I'm not going to stay long, but I wanted to let you guys know that I have picked up a number of DisplayPort by DisplayPort cables,
Okay.
Cool.
like 25 of them.
The both ends are DisplayPort. I can't see it.
Yes, that's correct. Let me see if I can arrange that a little better. Yep, both ends are DisplayPort.
Yeah, one looks like an HDMI, but I can't see.
No, they're both. You can see the clipped corners on them.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's only one clipped corner. Yeah, that makes them a DisplayPort. HDMI has a trapezoidal cross section.
Yeah.
So how did you come about this?
Well, as you may recall, we have a tour de trash, and along the tour de trash are several dumpsters that we visit. And in one of the dumpsters, they had thrown away not just, oh, this is one of 4 bags of these, by the way. They had thrown away not only these cables, but also think they're the the square ones that go into printers and stuff like that. A box the size of a carton of printer paper. Full.
So is this back of
Apparently,
a
when they
store
had
or something?
Excuse me?
Is this back of a store or something?
No, it's back of a school. Apparently they had gotten new equipment and they did not have equipment that was on video card compatible with the monitor. So rather than look at them and let them go to landfill, I picked them up. Right now, I don't have a use for them because, well, first of all, I never have a use for 25 of them. But my graphics card has a display port, but neither monitor that I'm using on this machine has a display port input. They have HDMI. So I use a display port versus HDMI. But it appears that this will be what is the next quote unquote standard.
It's not. They've already gone to mini display port now.
Oh, mini display port. Oh, I missed that. When I looked it up, they were saying it was 1.2 or 1.3.
I mean, there's DisplayPort was becoming common-ish on high-end graphics cards, and monitors have them, but the graphic cards have switched to the mini DisplayPort because they can put 4 plugs in the space of 2 now, so that you can drive 4 monitors off the card. But they're still, you know, as I say, I've got a bunch of engineering machines that take them, but my problem is the 6 inches or whether 6 feet or something is too short to reach half the time what you want to put the machine in the monitor.
Yeah. Well, anyway, if there's any interest, Leroy, would you pass that, act as middleman?
Yep, I will get a hold of you if somebody needs some cables.
Okay, well, they're like,
I don't need them. This laptop does have a display port, but I mean, we've fixed it because it's display port to HDMI.
I was just surprised that, you know, Amazon was wanting $12 a piece for these, and it's like,
Oh, that sounds about right.
Like a year ago, you used to get them for like $1.99, but the other trick too is if they're actually high grade or if they're Chinese knockoff.
Well, if they came from the
Microtech or something, yeah,
they're probably all right.
yeah.
well, the manufacturer on these is COXOC.
As long as they're not, was that micro or what's the really crappy stuff that works for like a minute and a half and then dies?
Yeah, I know what stuff you're talking about.
I got a bunch of that, but I started asking who it was that because I'd understand why those were in the trash because like only 1 out of every 6 work.
Well, I can imagine if these had been out of the package and the twist eye taken off, that, you know, they're bad or something like that, but these were still in the package with the twist eye.
They probably got brand new monitors that had both cables and they needed the other one and just chucked all the ones they didn't.
Yeah.
It's a government thing. They can just throw away stuff.
Well, when I worked at the hospital, we had more.
Yeah.
You know,
tuck them in there.
well, because we did 800 computers,
Yeah.
you know, so I mean, it was piled halfway to the ceiling. So the spare cable.
Well, and sooner or later, if somebody was actually thinking, they would have sent those off to an auction somewhere and somebody would have paid $5 for all of them.
So anyway, I'm kind of under the weather today, but wanted to let everyone know these are available. And don't take just one, they're small, so
if you're gonna take them, you gotta take a bunch, huh?
What was the other cable you said besides HDMI or DisplayPort?
I'm sorry?
Printer, the USB to printer, so the square
Oh, USB, the
USB
A or
A to B, A to B cable, is that,
Yeah,
yeah,
and I can understand why they were in the trash, but these kind of surprised me. Okay,
Well, you're assuming that the decision to throw them in the trash was somehow rational.
yeah.
That's a fairly substantial leap of faith.
it's a government thing, there's no rationale to it, it's a
Yeah.
government thing. Just get
this
rid of them.
this school threw out about 50 cases of math text that were still in the original cartons.
Yeah, probably because they got a grant and had to spend the money.
Yeah.
They were too good of books and they went to a dumber book and got rid of the good ones. That's
I
becoming pretty common.
didn't need those either.
Well, you usually put something like that up on Amazon,
Yeah, definitely.
you'd get pretty nice money out of books.
Put that on eBay, you'll get some decent money out of that.
Amazon, well, that was it, the Amazon resale thing, they'll sell the books. You just put your label on them and ship them to them, and they'll handle it all and sell them for just about what they retail for.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gail's good. They sent her a shipping label
Yeah.
and she just put them in a box and bam, it's gone.
There was
That's actually an idea. Gail might be able to sell those cables online.
Yeah,
She might be able to.
yeah, just bring them in and I'll see if Gail can sell them for us or.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
bring,
that's
both,
interesting. Banned math books.
well, that's the years ago, I did some digging into like the old like, oh crap, I forget what it's called, the induction equations and stuff for like what, you know, a line inducts into another wire. All that's been removed from all the modern electric books now. I mean,
You gotta find the old books to find.
yeah,
some of
I
that
was
stuff.
just like, what the crap? It made no sense to me, the modern electric engineer book. I mean, the equations aren't in the book anymore.
Yeah, and Gail's got a lot of the power distribution stuff when she was going to school,
Yeah,
and the Indians are buying it.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're pretty popular.
So this is like Maxwell's equations you're talking about?
Yeah,
well, you're talking about impedance mismatches.
well, just the like, how much current you induct in another wire, you know, that's within such and such range. All that kind of stuff's gone now.
You can still find that in like the RF guidelines, but you don't see it in the electric handbooks anymore.
Textbooks and
Yeah, you could still find some of that stuff in like the RF, because they consider it RF now.
yeah, you gotta dig. It's messed up.
Yeah.
Take care. Have a good one. Get well.
He's just like, I came in, I said my piece, I'm out.
Well, he was dragging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It's probably that dumpster driving. He probably caught something.
He's probably doing the backstroke in a dumpster. Yeah.
Got into some mold.
See if Vicente shows up with his robots, see how our robots compete with each other.
Oh, you're gonna have a race or something?
I am on version 2 of mine. I made some change. It actually was working very, very well with my original calculations, and I made some changes in it. It's not working so well now.
I always come when it's broke.
Yeah. No, it's working. It's just
You just
It
can't
could be
roll back
better.
to an earlier version?
I haven't yet, but I could. I probably should. I don't know if it's I added lights to it. so that you could visually see that it's making changes, left and right. I don't know if that has messed it up or if it's something else, because when you flip a light on, there's a tiny little bit of a delay, which I don't know if that's what happened. But I don't think so. I don't think there's enough of a delay that it really made a big difference. I think what I changed my number from like 165 to 162, and that seemed to have more of an impact than anything else. Robots can get complicated. Make one little change.
Mint has added an extra gigabyte, guys. They say they've gone to 5 gigabytes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mine contracts instead of 4.
Has yours reset yet?
No, I just saw the announcement.
Mine,
That's a what now?
The standard contract for Mint is,
Oh,
instead of 4 gigs of data, we get
you get 5.
5 now.
That's nice.
they're getting some competition supposedly from,
Mine resets in 2 days.
Well, they got bought too, so I'll pay them.
yeah.
Well,
New
Like-
company has a little more money.
T-Mobile bought them, and so far, I mean, there's no real difference because Mint was always on the T-Mobile backbone, so
I'm surprised they bothered to buy them, to be honest.
that's what I said. I was like, "Wow, why did they do that?" But
That's all right. What's the name? Doesn't mind.
Brian Reynolds,
Yeah.
And T-Mobile is offering the home internet for $50.
I
We need
will
to find a
say that
guinea pig.
That's why I wondered why Cincinnati Bell ran fiber out to us all of a sudden. They're trying to beat before people start going to the cell tower / satellite.
the 5G service on this thing, oh my God, it's blazing fast. I was shocked at how fast that was.
So it's not
Probably-
probably down.
I'm probably in a good area and everything, but I was shocked.
That's the Steve's communications. That's the question inside there.
How's their coverage?
The one area that I always was in a dead spot with my old phone, I get 5G there and it's blazing fast.
So this is the spot by your granddaughter's school?
Yeah, I mean, that was a dead zone and 5G hits there and I don't have any problems. And I've only seen it go to LTE one time. And that was inside of a building. I was in a building.
Well, anything can happen there.
Yeah, I know. Do I?
What service?
Mint Mobile. New phone
Yeah.
with 5G. 2022 Motorola Stylus 5G. With the stylus.
Which you don't use.
No, I actually write
Uh-huh.
notes to myself all the time.
I was looking at getting a new phone today, not because my phone's broke. The $8 case is broken,
Oh,
and I mean,
the $8 case. That's everything.
I looked at those cases, I'm like, those are all ugly. This
I-
one's ugly.
We did it, because our old phones just stopped getting updates and
Mhm.
security updates and all that. But like Barry says, if they can send the virus over the airwaves, it doesn't really matter. But I hate this case. This is a horrible case. I hate this case. It was a $4 case, so I can't really.
Well, you have a reason why you don't like it. Cause you didn't spend $60 on a nice one.
This thing is
Oh,
just, it wobbles and it wobbles while it's on the back.
Mine's
Wow,
starting to do
stamp.
that. It's getting loose.
Yeah, I mean, a brand new case shouldn't be all wobbly.
Well, it's just designed to keep propped up while it's on the table.
I know, but
But it doesn't do that.
It
At least
doesn't-
mine doesn't. I mean, it's too flat. It should be like that.
Oh, so you need a
Right.
bigger ring.
I mean, mine's not.
Well,
full.
Leroy, you might consider putting a little tweak in the budget there. I mean,
Well, that's for me.
I heard duct tape works real nice with a
Yeah,
couple $50 or something.
you do have a 3D printer.
I do.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that part of the case
Yeah.
because it just mounts right to my dashboard. I didn't have to do anything else.
Oh, is it magnetic? That's what I need. I need something to hold my phone, I guess, real soon. So I don't get arrested.
No, they're starting to actually pay attention.
Yeah, there's a new law kicked in like 3 months ago, so like 3 more months, it's a ticketable offense.
Mhm.
You can't touch your phone or pad. while
That,
operating the car.
that law is so written so poorly
Oh,
because
Yeah,
at one point it says you can use your phone for an emergency, but you have to be holding it to your head. And I'm going, that's worse than driving with the speakerphone.
Mhm.
And it says something about using a speakerphone is you can't use just the speakerphone. I'm like, why? That's what,
We can't use. Does that count if it's going through the stereo speakers?
who knows?
should be hands-free.
Yeah, it says, it says that,
Read it, but
it says, well, I read it because I wanted to find out about, using the ham radio stuff. Because if you have a microphone, I mean, that's could technically be just as distracting as having a cell phone,
oh, yeah, for TV.
but
What about a hamburger?
Or a book, or a map.
Yeah.
Or the ladies doing their mic.
oh, wait, it says something
Maybe
about the
that was-
navigation system in there.
Yeah,
can't-
it has to
you
be
can't-
mounted.
You can't use the navigation
You can't
system.
use iPad and phone navigation unless it's mounted to the dash.
It's a poorly written.
That's all right. We're battling out. I've been going to the township meetings where I'm at because of these solar panels. You guys see any of that crap coming through? Where they're stealing all the farmland on a lease
Is that
and putting solar farms on it?
Oh, yeah.
So, and then they're using these cadmium lead cells or whatever, so if they shatter, the toxicity is like astronomically horrible.
Geez.
and all the farmers don't want anything to do with it?
Well, the farmers that have already got signed on to it don't realize they're responsible for the cleanup.
$50,000 per acre. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm in. I got 5 acres. I'm in.
They don't pay anything close to that,
Oh,
but there's a farmer in Brown County, he's getting like 380,000 a year. I forget how many acres he's got, but the cleanup, if they shatter, let's say a tornado comes through there and shatters all those things, will be in the millions. And it's his responsibility,
ooh, that's not good.
because as a leased corporation, they've already, so that the company in Brown County that's already got their panel online has already changed names 5 times in the last 2 years. And the company that just took it over this last time said they're not responsible for any ecological issues from the previous 4 companies. So they've already divested out that they're responsible for.
Are they mounting them in
So
concrete?
does that mean that the companies that don't exist anymore are responsible? I'm sorry, you buy a toy, you're responsible for it.
Yeah, but
And they
they-
will get sued if something bad happens.
yeah, but that's the thing too, is they didn't buy the land. So they leased it and they made the farmer create an LLC to pay them through. So it's on the LLC's responsibility if anything goes out, and then they can pull out anytime they want. And then they're responsible, the farmer or the owner of the property is responsible for the cleanup and disposal or recovery of the land. So where they have staked these I-beams every 20 feet through their entire farmland, if they want to farm again, they have to take all those I-beams out at their own expense.
Just sell the electricity. It's worth more than the crops were probably,
Well,
especially right now.
if you have,
Is that
Panels.
beef jerky?
the
Yeah.
panels aren't yours.
Got it in the machine down here.
I-
I was starved. I missed lunch.
My sniffer was like, I smell
No.
beef jerky.
I smell jerky.
That's not beef
The
jerky.
radar went out, it's just like that happened with the Batman book out there,
Yeah,
the lights came on.
'cause I smell something good.
I smell it. What do I smell?
Look,
Oh, yeah, it's
you
beef
smell
jerky.
Or was it, listen, smell that?
Yeah. That's one big Twinkie.
But no, what cracks me up about the whole thing, so our township trustees are telling us they didn't know anything about it and that was done behind their back. But it's one of the trustees' properties, farm that it's on, and he's sold 4 acres, so like his farm, 4 acres of it come into Claremont County and the rest of it where they're actually putting the panels in Brown County. They bought his Claremont County property for $25,000 an acre. So they
They
can
bought
put
it?
in, yeah, they bought those 4 acres
Yeah.
because they want to put the electric power substation there.
Oh,
So they can go 3 miles out from that. And then they lease, they need the panels to be within 3 miles of a
Substation.
substation. Because solar is a shitty transmittable power source.
yeah,
And, but then they're using some kind of high frequency, high voltage to transport it. So the township was on the hook for upgrading the roads and the power lines, because they're taking all the power lines and they're moving them up like another 50 feet. To be able to run
the
that higher
transmission line?
frequency voltage, yeah.
Yeah.
But now you can hear them humming, and the people that live along that street are getting shocked by their cars when they go out.
Oh, that's nice.
Because the EMF fields are so high, that it's charging their cars, so they get shocked when they go out in the weather, when it's humid. Whatever it is, I don't know, everybody down that road's having a meltdown.
Okay. Well, around my property.
That's- You power your house off Tesla coils, and then you get to go to jail like that drug dealer in Brown County. He ran his house with glow lights. He built some kind of Tesla coils to power the glow lights, so he wasn't paying the grid. And then took his power consumption dropped 98%. But then his whole basement was glow lights. And the power company started questioning what the hell was going on, and they raided his house and brought in some special people in suits, and Duke Energy came in there and confiscated all the
Yeah,
equipment
because,
out of the house.
because you're not really supposed to generate your own power. You
Yeah.
have to either sell it back to the
Yeah.
electric company or.
Well, they were taking it from the power company, coils,
Yeah.
and step up transformers.
One of the coolest bits of thievery I saw, and I knew the fellow that did it. On his gas meter, you got the line that comes out of the ground, and it has an elbow
Mhm.
into a fitting that has an elbow on this side, and the meter hangs under it.
Right.
He drilled through the web of that cast iron fitting with a 3/16" drill bit,
Mhm.
all the way through. Took him a long time. Meter back. The meter still worked. Whenever the furnace and the water heater kicked on, that was enough of a draw that it spun the meter.
Yeah.
His
Otherwise it
usage
was-
dropped about 85%.
Didn't drop, it just didn't register.
Yeah, yeah, he did that basically the week he moved in, so they never saw anything higher than
Different.
that.
Yeah.
And he did that for 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, basically. He never got caught for it, but they came and they replaced the meter because they figured it must be broken. Because one cold winter, he just didn't use any gas.
Crazy.
If the new meter would have hung off that same cast iron piece, it'd still be going. He was pretty nervous. He was sitting on his back porch watching them switch that thing out, and when they took that out, it's like, please don't look in there, please don't look in there, please don't look in there.
They probably wouldn't have known any better anyway.
Yeah.
It's probably just some subcontractor that didn't give a rat. Being paid per meter, $20 to swap them.
Well, I've got 100 foot of fiber optic cable laying in my front yard, hanging down from the power pole.
Oh, yeah.
And the power company says, we don't own the poles. And the poles are owned by the city. We just lease them for the power lines. Right.
That's odd.
And the cop says, no, that's not true today. I'm not sure if he knows. So I don't know.
Like Duke almost owns most of the line, or power poles.
Do what?
Duke owns most of the power poles.
You think?
They own the poles and they get the highest stuff. Everybody lower than that leases from Duke.
From Duke, yeah.
So if
Oh,
it's-
they
if
claim
it's a
they do.
fiber cable, it has nothing to do with power.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
So the power guy came by and said, that's not power cable. That's not Duke Power. I said, well, when they put it up, they had a sign hanging from it that said Duke Power on it. Okay,
There's fiber.
yeah. Lick it.
yes. It's got a junction box up there, and the guy said that junction box is a fiber junction box. It's a big plastic thing like that.
And it came off the pole and it just laying on the yard.
It came off that, actually, it came off the junction where they splice them together. Splice.
Yeah.
Didn't you have Verizon out there running fiber?
Verizon has underground. They did
Or
underground.
maybe they'll know who owns the fiber in there.
Yeah, they said it might be Cincinnati Bell, and I reported to Cincinnati Bell, and I hadn't heard from them.
You got it, whoever owns it will be out there and check.
They'll figure it out real fast.
Yeah, the power company guy said, go ahead and cut it.
It was-
But I see it laying down in front of my neighbor's house too. He's got problems down there. And I went down to the cell tower and it looks like some of it's laying down there, headed toward the new cell tower.
You got Spectrum in your area?
It's not Spectrum because we were using Spectrum.
Yeah.
We've been using Spectrum. They put it in there about a year ago.
You going, is it coax or you fiber?
They say it's fiber. It's about 3/4 inch diameter fiber, they said.
Or with fiber?
I think it's fiber out on the road until it goes to the house and then it's cable.
But this is new.
Well, that's what I was curious.
Yeah.
Might be little string or something.
And we've got the old metal clad Spectrum stuff, I think.
Yeah,
That's
well, that's what I
old
was just
stuff.
curious, is if you.
It's
if
not
you got-
that, it's something else.
Yeah, if Spectrum was putting fiber through there to replace the coax at some point,
Yeah, I think they came through, if
but
they've got some problem in the neighborhood, they run fiber now. But from the pole to the house, it's still coax, so they're not doing
So-
anything.
I have 2,800 feet of fiber laying in our grass
Nice.
from February.
Hmm, neat.
Well, if you.
Maybe.
I like it, Brian.
I have a shovel just for burying that. It's a straight thing with a round bottom
Yeah,
and you stick it.
so this is super lightweight, thin thread. Cause it was a temp wire, cause they were supposed to come back through in a couple more weeks and put an armored one up on the pole.
Hmm.
And now they're telling us they're gonna bury it, and that's been 2 months ago. So now the grass is gotten tall, and it's
Yeah.
really hard to tell where it's at and not step on it, you know?
It's not as delicate as you'd think for glass. I mean, you don't wanna kink it, but
So this is like some kind of like, I mean, there's no armoring on it at all. It's
still gotta be this big around or so. That's got aramid fiber wrapped around glass, covered in plastic. Is it one of the orange ones?
no,
The color
it's black,
black.
and it's like,
I might have steel in it too.
I mean, it's like that. I mean, it looks like 16 gauge wire.
Yeah. It's
It is
tougher
not,
than you think.
yeah. I said, don't step on it,
Don't step on it, because
but I mean, I'm really shocked at this point a deer hasn't stepped on it,
they might have.
but.
I'm surprised that they put down.
Maybe they know where it is.
Yeah, well, I figured with it black, the deer would probably jump over it just because of the wire.
Honestly,
They're not a
you
big,
can probably bury it and it'll be fine.
well, they're bringing out, allegedly, they're gonna bury some kind of heavy duty armored
Yeah.
stuff tomorrow, theoretical.
Cool.
But what I think is hilarious is they're
But
not,
you get to keep the other cable probably.
well, so they're not telling us or involving us in it at all. So my curiosity is where they're going to run it, because there is the leach lines, there's a 6-inch pipe coming from the back ponds to the front yard. There's electrical lines from the house to the back shop, and then there's,
They
Drink
haven't
pipe.
had somebody out to mark where they're gonna put it yet?
they came out and
should-
measured it,
You should have paint all over your yard at this point.
not a speck.
That,
They're not gonna
that's
bury
going
it.
to be very interesting when they
That's
cut
what
it to the ground.
Well, that's what I figured. When they come up around the house, depending on where they plan to hit the house. If they come to where the old Cincinnati bell wires attached to the house and then bring it up under the eave and go with the fiber on over to where they put the fiber junction, they'd probably be more or less okay, depending on how they come from the pole. If they come
Yeah.
around the well, they'll miss the leach lines and they'll miss the plumbing lines, and they'll be before the electric lines, but they'll go through the,
Your leach line should be at least 3 or 4 feet.
yeah, they're deep,
They're
but
only gonna bury that cable probably 8 inches.
yeah, and that's what some of the people were saying, but the leach lines are on a hillside. So depending on where they come up on that hillside, they're really close on that hill. Coming up
Good.
in a couple spots,
Like,
because it's like it
Yeah.
goes over and drops like 30 feet. And so like the lower leach lines are only like a foot when you get down over that hill.
My daughter wanna put some dirt under them. You shouldn't have them above the
Yeah.
frost line.
Yeah.
Bad things happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the old one, so I don't.
Oh,
The reason we know where they are is we hit them when we put in the pipe for the lake drainage. And that's why we know they're close to the surface.
We know where they
On that
are because
corner.
we did the same thing.
We nicked it with the trencher that we were laying the line with. So it's only like 2 feet or so from where that pipe comes out of the hillside there.
what's it do?
Well, I was waiting for Vicente, but I don't have to wait.
Well, I mean, this isn't what he's been trying to do for the last decade, right?
Vicente's,
He's got a nail. Somebody's got a nail. He's just playing where you can switch around automatically, switch directions
yeah,
Oh.
I haven't
Oh,
done that yet.
and Bluetooth download of the program.
And that's never going to happen with this robot. Because it does have Bluetooth, but there's.
But like I said, they've got a nail. I mean,
Does he?
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
Yeah,
you know, I
this
would
is-
hope so, because I mean, isn't he supposed to take his trash cans out or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that they don't even zigzag.
So Leroy,
Follows within an 8 inch.
Yeah,
those two
You're right,
LEDs,
Matt.
yes.
It's fine.
those go on and off as they turn right and left?
Yes, but it's turning right and left so fast that it's really hard to see, especially on the camera.
Well, I was gonna say, you can't see anything on the camera with respect to those LEDs. It looks like a pair of outboard headlights.
So in person, you can see them flickering a bit. I can see them flickering. But I think that's where, because I added that in.
You want to unmute me, really?
What?
I'll do later, I'll say later.
How did I say?
I don't know,
Oh,
I just did away with it.
I didn't. Anyway. My first experiment with this, I didn't have the lights, so there may be a small delay in activating the lights, which is causing it to bounce a little.
So does it have the same light immunity?
Pretty much, yeah.
Does it freak out if you
I-
slip a piece of paper under?
Do we have any paper?
No, I got
So my first version of this before I did the lights. The table I was using had some black paint on it. And you could see it every single time it would go over that black paint, it would,
it does make a difference.
yeah.
Huh.
So yes, it's a very similar. This is programmed with Arduino IDE, not Python. So, you know, it's different, but it's the same idea.
Still using infrared.
Analog infrared, and in this case, I'm only using one analog sensor. And
So if you run this in the dark, will it work or not?
yeah. My computer room is fairly dark, and it was doing pretty much the same thing that it's doing.
What'd you do? Turn off the overheads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like it might be just a tiny bit closer to the outside.
So that was one of the things I was trying to correct. The first attempt, this outer wheel was actually on the line. It was pretty good. So I tried to pull it in a little bit more, and I made it a little worse. But at the same time that I tried to pull it in, I added the lights. So I don't know if it's me pulling it in that made it a little worse, or if it's the lights that made it a little worse. It's probably the lights, because there's a little bit of a delay.
Seems pretty consistent.
It's fairly consistent, and it wiggles at pretty much the same spot every time.
So how many sensors are you using?
Just one.
Why not use more?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty much following the same path that Vicente did. His very first one, he was only using the one center. I want to use two outside ones. And so, you know, when we first talked, and I said, I want to use two outside ones to do it, he didn't know what that was going to accomplish. And then all of a sudden it dawned on him that, oh yes, if you use the two outside ones, it could go this direction, or it could go this direction. So.
Oh, wow.
So if I send it that way,
You
it,
only go It's a one-way guy. It's just like NASCAR all over again.
So it's
It tries to,
left-hand rule.
it tries to swing itself back around. So. And down here, it gets so light that it thinks that it's white. So I've still got to make some corrections there. But if I try to send it going this direction up here, it should. See, it's trying to spin itself around. And if I have it kind of down here, you'll see it. It'll pull itself up where it needs to go. But I tried to get it a little more center. Because the first numbers I used, it was up in the black area.
Now, Leroy, based on the battery you've got, how long will that run continuously?
I don't know. I'm honestly surprised that it's lasted as long as it's lasted.
Because
And it was
Vicente was saying
600
a couple of hours, right?
It's a 680 milliamp hour battery. And I have charged it, but I have never let it actually go. Of course,
No, there it is.
that's the way to get Vicente to show up.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
start doing the demonstration, and Vicente will show up.
I have a bigger challenge.
Okay, okay. I'm not ready for a bigger challenge. Okay.
Just no, something bigger.
I thought you had a beer challenge.
A beer
All
challenge.
right, yeah, that's there. Now you're talking.
A bigger. The same one.
Same,
Look at that.
same but different.
Thing bit bigger. Yeah, you know how Vicente is.
Go bigger state.
Is the robot bigger too?
No, his robot's actually a little bit smaller.
Don't like my pad holding down for you? Thanks, buddy.
They all of them together.
Have a new track.
Oh, my cow.
That's is that one of the older tracks? Just probably bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gone, Vicente gone wild.
We have to use this every week. Everyone must bring their robots.
Oh, yeah.
Hang that up on the wall so that the Zoom meetings look official.
Yeah, I need grommets in the morning.
See what his does, because
He's got a line around here. He's supposed to.
yeah,
Right on the edge.
Well, that's intriguing.
just because the gradient's a little bit different. The color's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Very good.
And we found out that
No, this one's
plastic
tight.
made a difference too. The
Oh,
material, printed material made a difference too.
If it was darker,
It-
it'd be
it actually-
more to the inside.
It actually looks like, well, it's still waggling a bit. It actually looks like it likes this track a little bit better.
So can you put two robots on the same track?
I guess.
I don't see why not.
Fine.
race.
Battlebots, that's tomorrow.
Yeah. Wonder how many blow up tomorrow. The batteries this year are horrible.
He got off there for a second.
It also looked like it slipped.
Yeah.
Right, with this on the.
Uh-oh.
It's all the way to here.
You see that, you know. But we'll see.
This is like the self-driving model that we're gonna have to use soon.
Didn't even notice it.
I didn't either.
It's so dark, I guess it's not, see, you can't see through it as well because it's so dark. And he's on the darker side.
The table that I had some black paint on it though, and if it's black, there's definitely a difference. Stick that map.
This may have trouble crawling up on the map, we'll see. It didn't like the edge, but other than that, it did fine.
Well, it came back to more or less where it should. It definitely did something weird, yeah. So around the curve. Not much of a difference.
Well, it made a big. Yeah, when it came off, it did a big.
I think it's probably an advantage that it's running on the darker side.
Yeah, mine
So
pulls
that's
closer to the
much
dark.
more immune to that sort of stuff. That's sort of that's foolishness.
Real world color effects. Why would infrared even care?
Can you train it to the lighter color and see if that affects it?
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
It may be black, but it may be really reflective in IR. Or really matte. I mean, you never.
Well, I just, I wouldn't think like, just because you had a little bit more white underneath, it was making a effect like that. It seems so.
It's reading the analog values. And this one goes. I think it goes to 40% in analog. But anyway, it does if you. I have a small range for mine, and but if I change that range, like if I set that there, and we watched it on the serial terminal, we pulled this away, the range would change.
I just, I thought it was
The
able to penetrate basically looking at the layer of material underneath it.
well, I think partially because I have a small range, like 3 or 4%, not percent, 3 or 4 numbers difference. It's not going to make a big bit of difference because this sensor seems to be very, very, very consistent. So if it's just sitting there, it's always going to read like whatever it is, 45 or whatever. That's where it wants to sit at. So I'm not doing a whole lot of. I'm not reading the sensor a bunch of times and trying to average the value because that sensor is really, really consistent anyway. So I just read it once and over and over and over again and make small corrections. I also can't maybe go this direction right now. Even by sentence.
Just a little, yeah, a little less wobble, still wobble some.
It's called a waggle. It waggles.
Most of the wagons are like 100, the wagons are colors.
Vicente is using the ESP 32. I'm using an Atmega 328. Processing power wise, I think it's got more processing power. He's using MicroPython.
Just a moment.
Hi, Art. So he can make changes on the fly where I have to go and reprogram the one. This extra little ESP32 is his Bluetooth link to his laptop, so he can make changes back and forth. You want to put that on here? Well,
Next week.
I want to get it working sort of consistent.
I ordered a whole batch of those Bluetooth wireless things or whatever. I don't care about or something, and it ate a hole through the bag and all of them fell out at one. Well, it's like $100 for one. I don't even have a pair to use it with. Cause you need two of them. Oh, now it's
Yeah.
going faster.
And it's not,
We change the direction.
I can't do that yet. I was just trying to get it to work.
Because I just have to use two sensors.
Yeah.
You know what direction is the gradient.
So if we take black marker and we go Ziggy then.
He's more centered too. He's reading more of the medium.
Your business. Too bright or what?
Too fast. Too something.
You gotta turn quicker.
This, so probably
It
that's a
may be
little
too
wider.
fast, it may be too,
Well, that shouldn't matter.
He's not exactly centered on this.
Well, I just
The maximum minimum level of
put
rate
a little brighter light there.
over. I stop.
It's weird because it's printed.
We get into.
We both had them printed. at the
need to
same
do
time.
gain, you got a gain control, do you have a proportional band or a? Yeah. Or gain,
It made it around that time.
yeah, reduce the gain and you'd probably be okay.
You have any sort of learning on that thing, because it's now made it quite a few revolutions. Now it doesn't like.
No, they ran off the track.
You go faster, you need to change the control algorithm. You could have
Yeah.
faster.
Change the gain, yeah.
I just increase the speed of progress by a factor. So,
Yeah, on this one, you have to slow it down, because it's trying to turn too fast and it goes out of band.
It's. See, it made a wide turn there.
overshoot.
Yeah, well, it's
This one is harder to overshoot. but,
not like it's appears
Yeah, it'll be out, yeah.
on this track, causing issues.
So I go back to
The dog hair track.
He's got either a dog or a cat with long hair.
Oh,
When we first talked.
so I think that one's mine's fairly consistent. It waggles at all the same spots.
Yeah,
When we first talked about getting the back, I didn't think they should.
That is very slow now, Vicente.
Yeah.
But depends what,
Why it's easier to control.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know a dog that doesn't shed, except for that one that has hair. There's like a genetically bred dog that has hair instead of fur.
Hair lambs, test.
They crossbred it or something, so people that are allergic to dog dander can have a dog.
You're gonna have to do adaptive control.
Yeah.
Where's the joystick so we can steer it?
Yeah.
You do the test, the head motion?
Say this.
Vicente also has encoders that you can actually use. Yeah. You're not using the encoders right now, though, right?
No.
No. Fancy your programming.
Really? Oh, man, he got colors, man. See, he hasn't done nothing. Look at those colors, man.
It's like my first. But I like paying an extra $80 for a mouse just because it has LED lights in it.
You know, you'll see right now.
$80
You go to Biden too. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
$80.
Well, you can't buy a $20 5-button mouse anymore.
Oh, okay.
They have LED or what the LED lights in it, and they're $100.
Well, I bought Patty I think it was a $7 mouse and it's got LEDs in it, but it's only a 3-button mouse.
But I mean,
It's about as generic as you're going to get.
it drives me nuts. I had a Microsoft laser mouse from 1996 and 5-button, and it fell off my desk, and now the light blinks, so it don't work so well.
ruh-roh.
And I was like, I've had that mouse for like 26 years. I'm like, and it about flipped when I saw what it cost to buy a 5-button mouse now. Like, are you shitting me?
My youngest son learned swords. And he bought some fancy $200 mouse. He bought 4 of them. And immediately sold 2 of them for more than, and he ended up with 3 mice and a cat.
Yeah.
But it's like a 28 gram mouse. Just a mesh magnesium.
That's the one with the like custom weights and everything you put in it.
But you don't put any weights in it.
Oh,
It even has a special little holder to keep the cord out of the way so that doesn't influence it.
no, one of the guys there when I worked at their paper, international paper. He had one where it like you could disassemble it and put different weights.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Balance it.
yeah, to make it whatever grams you wanted it to be. And it had like
Oh, the feel.
30 some different plates, you know, that you could swap to make it either heavier or lighter, the speed you want it to move around at. I'm like, are you nuts?
And the answer would be
Yeah.
yes.
Sound like a potential member.
My
I wish I just had his kind of, spare cash flow.
Oh, yeah.
you'll enjoy this. My grandkid that I watch all the time. She came over the other day, and Patty was asking me a question, and she walked in and she said, "You never ask Papal why," and then she walked out.
Yeah, she's catching on to this game.
I was like, "Well, who have you been talking to, Thea?" Because you're right. Don't ask me why.
They like never tell me the odds.
Kinda.
Pretty much.
Kinda sort of. It's kind of like don't tell me the odds. What are they doing? I don't know. I wish I knew stuff.
So anybody try to use chat or GPT to make a program for these yet? Does it do a nice job?
I saw some examples of Arduino code generated.
Yeah. They work.
But this is one in there or something like that.
Okay. Well, I want to see a homemade self-driving car. Or a home version of Jarvis.
Jarvis?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the whole Echo and Google, and I want my own. Doesn't talk to the internet.
And it's amazing. I just say, I need a motorcycle in the kitchen. Then go to my computer and motorcycles for sale appear in all the page of news, whatever, or you ask for flowers or whatever. It's hearing all the time and just creating ads related with your conversation.
Seems like I'm holding it more over.
Yeah, definitely you're driving left to the center than you were earlier.
And it's way a whole lot more.
Well, you're going faster,
I'm not.
aren't you?
No, I didn't change the speed.
What did you change?
The value that it's looking for the
Just put a little pin on the back here with the grapes.
would have pulled it closer to white, but it looks like it pushed it away. White. I think it's me.
You need to change the background of this, of Arduino,
The background.
must be dark.
Wrong color.
Oh,
You'd be a good hacker and
But
still
not
use
pink.
white.
I'm a white cat hacker. Hacker. I don't really do the whole
Reading the dark.
read in the dark thing.
White, night.
Midnight.
Now all I did was take the lights out. Did you actually finish Brandon? Why didn't you tell me you finished? Because you're a thing. That did not really smooth it out at all. So I didn't, the lights aren't really making a difference.
Since it takes clock cycles to turn on the lights, it may be they help smooth it out just by giving the distance.
It's the only thing I could think of because there's really no delays there. I mean. It reads the sensor, it looks for something and it tells the motors to do something. we're not including art. Art needs to be included.
What's that?
I will
Yeah, Mike
share.
here too, hadn't had any time. Yeah, we gotta see where his battery voltage thing went. Yeah.
Still not that.
Still not, man.
I'm thinking of just pulling the board out of it and loading different software on a different board and using the sensors and the motors.
This is my very, very simple code, Art.
Otherwise, I bought another
Yep.
little smaller one, plugged it in the other day, sent it out.
Are there any decent mowers under 500?
No, they're all up around 1,500.
Wow. Oh, we're done.
Yeah,
The one I got
no
now,
kid moves out. Not worth it.
yeah, the one that died on me was about $1,500 mower. I picked it up for $5. Somebody says, you know, and it was used, they used it for one summer, it says, I don't like it. I'd rather just push my mower. And this one, a guy bought it new, opened the box just to see if everything was in it, because he was going to move into a different house. He was living with his mother. And he bought a house where there's an HOA that mows the lawn for him.
Yeah.
So he says, I don't need it. So I got a discount on that. Not for under 500. But it's a little smaller. Not as nice. So anyway, I got a skeleton of one now I can work on. And still got one to go and mow the lawn for me.
Okay. Now you need to get Arduino R4, the latest one, and run it from there, yeah.
I broke it.
Need some good software.
Yeah.
I broke it.
Yeah, I think I'm just putting GPS, but not the RTK or RKT GPS. That gets too pricey. But I thought, as long as I got a little, this standard GPS, at least it'll be able to go kind of the lines and bumpers to keep it semi-intelligent.
Yeah.
Broke it.
I will have a 2 centimeters solution.
I broke it.
Dang.
With using bases, using what?
Two vehicles and the sensor in the.
Yeah. What's that? What's that? That adds up though. By the time you get the two beacons that are GPS connected, or you're just using those as homes.
No, my own vehicles. Yes. We have 25 samples per second of your location. And can go behind trees or whatever, works everywhere.
There, that's better.
Played with this before?
Yeah, no, I was very.
So did you change the settings on that, Leroy?
Yeah. I
I move my.
it's more centered now. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Oh, yeah, I can see.
Power.
So
It's
Finally finding the right numbers.
Power works, right? Yes.
It's still too waggly, but
They refer to that as what? Beacon position?
Was part of the problem the Arduino is just slow?
The distance
could be.
Yeah.
and it's the intersection of.
The Mega 328's just slow.
You must stay in one side
Pick up
of the
Barry.
line that.
Don't go to sleep.
Another
It's actually not, it's not horrible. It waggles at the same spot every time.
circles always intersect into points.
So can you overclock the Arduino?
I don't know. Can you overclock the device? Bicente's talking.
Size.
and
You will see
be
something
external.
While doing the system without
You're using the
sensing
internal clock of the chips.
snow.
You're kind of stuck with what you got.
Shit.
You can clock it
I
down,
think
but
from
not
GPS.
I wonder
Your yard.
if we
It remembers-
did this in like pure C instead of Arduino with all the baggage that Arduino had.
Yeah.
What, who, can you, do you have presets for the motors?
Yes.
You could adjust the presets to where they're very close to each other,
Well, that's,
but then it would change your tuning.
that's pretty much,
I can reduce it because theoretically it's half a centimeter. But I need to solve some problem in the synchronization.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's
I solved this distance, the other
The-
one is just.
the 175 to 178, that's go straight.
What sort of frequencies are your RF, I'm assuming?
I probably could bump that.
2.4 and
That may be why it waggles a lot, because I've got like
Wi-Fi signal.
3 different,
Oh, okay, really?
maybe I can bump
Okay,
that,
that hardware is easy to find.
change that down to.
So what's the clock speed on the processor that Vicente is using?
He's using an ESP32, so
Synchronize, just send the message,
But what's the clock speed on it?
just.
108 megahertz, 180 megahertz.
Whereas the Arduino is only 16 megahertz, right?
Right.
I have wow.
I
15
think the way this.
nanoseconds of.
Let's do this. That would make that.
Fluctuation in time,
Okay,
15 nanoseconds, it's half a centimeter. The speed of sound, you know.
77.
Using sound,
Now we'll stay the same.
sound transmission and RF synchronization.
See if giving a smaller range would make it waggle less.
so it's ultrasonic or something?
No, it's sonic.
So you have to recharge the battery?
Low level. Ultrasonic have problem with the obstacles, you know.
Yeah.
Or
it
low
doesn't go
frequencies.
through.
Low frequencies go everywhere.
I'm changing the
So,
numbers again.
Don't see the trees, don't see the air, go like.
Oh,
You just
so you're
can't.
reprogramming. Okay.
Yeah,
So
you
your
just can't
robot
see what I'm
sits there and
doing.
goes.
No, you can hear it. It's too short in time. It's okay.
Huh.
You cannot hear the.
That's a little smoother there.
Microphones on the beacons?
It's not.
No.
Maybe I need to put another read in. Maybe I need to read the sensor more than once.
So you know what's your heading all the time, because you have 2 microphones.
Mhm.
And you know the position of all of them. So you know the center of them is your robot. And
Let's
the
just make it-
position is your heading. You know, so you always know where you are and where I'm heading,
Let's not give it any.
everything you need. I will try to do with this small thing in the table and show how we do it. I'm working now in the idea that I just bring the beacons. I put them anywhere. I just put the robot in one corner, press a button, other corner, press a button, and it's already calibrated. It knows exactly where it is.
Cool.
Like plug and play just.
I think that's worse.
Works by weeks, months.
I agree.
On and off.
I think that's worse.
They are always low power, waiting for a signal.
I got a network cabling right under the corner of the house, so that's not an issue. Put something here.
I was making experiments in my office. And the transmitter and the receiver and the middle was working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But the signal bounce everywhere, you know. You need an algorithm to identify which is the first one and which are just thousand signals.
The echo is super high.
Maybe,
It's actually smoother in ways.
it is, and it's not, it's weird. I'm going to bump the turn speed up a little, see what happens. Actually bump the turn speed up a lot. I probably bumped the turn speed up too much.
There is a people, you can use this one.
You can reduce the reduce the speed of the wheels. Trying to do that. Oh, no, waggles a lot.
Nice, thanks.
The sensor's actually staying very, very centered. It's the tail that's going all over the place.
Writing stick.
A writing stick.
The device.
Better pencil on
Right.
I have a stylus. That's a writing stick.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe making the turns. That's about as slow of a turn I can make.
Reduce the speed of the wheels. Can you do that?
Well, the.
JJ,
Mhm.
is this
Ohio.
Ohio?
There's this fine fishing.
Your increment is so large that your speed is too fast. We have the same thing with paper machine, you know, you need a super fine increment.
Like right on the turns, it freaks the hell out for a few seconds. But as long as it's going straight,
Somebody points in.
oh, sorry. I didn't realize anybody was waiting. Because
He just popped in.
I'm paying attention to my robot, my
We could
Rubik.
Discuss if we wanted to let you in there.
My Rubik. So, this is the motor speed for the turns. This is the motor speed for the straight. And I think 65 is about the smallest I can make it without. To try 60. Seemed to me like it started doing that buzzing thing at one point when I dropped the speed down. Where it just wasn't enough to overcome the.
That's smoother in a lot of ways. It's not jiggly as it was, it's smoother. That's smoother. It's still a little jiggly.
Well, it's.
This guy.
I don't know.
Make all of. One size. Work on
35,
things.
I think 35 is too slow.
yeah, that's right.
Yes, broken.
Mhm.
2 weeks ago or so, he made a review of all the safety systems for robots. And we tested several of them, and it's interesting just to know where is the state of art of this of the things, you know? I mean, a system that can be by person, there are very expensive systems. But several made several experiments with
Too slow.
open source with
All right,
Well,
and one thing for where
it was 60, so let's try 55.
these people that made this kind of things.
I know it's close. It's somewhere right around that, but that's too slow.
the only company that's working this idea. It's not, it's ultrasound and RF treatment.
Okay.
I started with the idea of use the phones.
It's smoothed out quite a bit.
in big shows.
Yep.
Still does a little bit, but yeah,
You know,
Well,
where
I mean, Vicente's
show.
yeah,
did a little.
where-
yeah.
where
That's not bad.
That's
sound
better.
difference of the phone.
Let's drop it to 50 and see. I know it's right around in here somewhere that the motors just start to whine.
Why- that can go to PS. And I-
Hmm.
Basic, because I'm getting.
Did you just say you're crazy?
To destroy the data, try to destroy the data, because I need the data to be very strong. So I
don't see much
I
difference.
check that the data is.
That might
steady.
actually be a little worse.
And do you have a pause to keep it from looping? The delay, you don't have a delay enough. It's wide open.
Pass through.
Okay. Yeah, the steering decrement is just so large.
50 times per second, so
But it's smoother, it is smoother.
25 times per second each. So I.
It's,
Why signal.
to me, it seems like it's just a hair worse than.
Distance. It's also good for filter.
It's the sweet spot,
strength
yeah,
value,
it's near the sweet spot.
Just discard it, because it's impossible to move maybe 500.
Yeah. You know, 55 maybe not be right, 50 might not be right.
So
Let's
what
try
happens after
52.
You get this set up and it's working. It's available.
Just
thing,
bump it up, just
And your neighbor. gets
bump
the
it
same
down a
set.
little and bump it.
You can change the frequency. You can also use a master and make them all the vehicles around works in the same timing. So the system just. You only need one.
There's more points of
Except
reference.
right around
You only need
the
one
hard
signal.
turns, that seems like it's a
I
little
made
better.
the original experiment I made it with the EPS.
That's pretty dang smooth there. I
It was
could.
very.
That seems like it's, that seems like it's a lot better, except right around the turns.
Pretty much optimal.
Vehicles
I think
always
you've optimized it for the increment that you have. I think that's.
I think EPS that is close to the vehicle is. Signal, no location, but just timing.
I'm saving that
But
program.
I try to use it inside.
And
my
that's,
house.
that's
Need
near as good as I've sent
No.
you.
the 1 second.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
We chip.
Mine has.
We chip EPS, no, $5. Yeah, $3.50. I use 2 of them in my office.
What do you think, Mr. Vicente?
What?
Did I smooth it out much better?
I add some fuel and match.
Use this as a filler.
Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah, I think that's a lot better.
What happened with the headlights?
Oh, I turned them off just so I could.
To say energy.
They were actually pulsating a little bit, so if it was left or right. But nobody can see it except me, so
65.
I was the only one that can see it actually turning them on and off. But see, I've got an OLED screen. I could have it actually display stuff instead of just use lights.
A little arrow on it.
Or something. I really wish these LEDs that are on here, I wish it was 2 separate LED bars, because then I would have it left and right. But it treats it as one LED bar.
Probably a timing difference there.
Do I?
So there's probably a timing difference.
Yeah, not.
Is it a little
7/16s or whatever,
It, yeah, it's
60 LEDs, that's not right.
not, they're green, they're green LEDs. Let's see. And it's a they're on a shift register. And instead of using two shift registers, one for both bars, it uses one shift register.
One of those things.
Yes. It uses one shift register. Download.
You can't do a Knight Rider.
Well, you can, but it would do it on both bars. That's just an LED bar. Demo that I found somewhere. Shift register bar. And it's barely showing up on the camera. They are not bright. Ooh, cookie. Program back on. This thing, this little robot that we can't find this in the store anymore.
Robot.
They don't sell it anymore.
If you're not going right, or if you're not going left, if you haven't got a signal to go right and you don't have a signal to go left, switch back and forth continuously. That should be straight.
You mean instead of just, get rid of the,
I don't know if you have access to doing that. Switch back and forth. Yeah, I don't know.
get rid of this.
Right one to internet.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about this.
That's why we like you, Leroy. You just go ahead and throw it in there and see what it does.
Under the seat.
See if it blows.
I use this tool.
Oh, it can't hurt it.
Yeah.
Famous last words. Blue smoke.
Guys, every week,
You can't hurt it.
try to pour on this.
Nothing can go wrong now.
It's named if you wrote stuff to do.
I don't.
So I like this.
It's got the shakes.
Yeah, it looks like it's a lot more.
Oh, say 500 pounds.
It's going pretty slow too.
They are sending now controller to use some location.
What is doing that? What is doing that? What could be doing that? It should be,
We already have ideas to use this.
it should be going so fast. What's the clock speed?
That is more.
If it's megahertz, I mean, it should be straight.
Well,
What is it? Sensor lag?
Mass in the motors.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I need to read the sensor twice.
I'll do a floating average. Would that help?
Yeah, I would try to smooth out your sensor reading. Use
They're
half
floating
of the
average.
value of the sensor from the last read.
Okay.
Place local that's making those too.
If we,
This really is no.
There's a manufacturer.
I don't see.
come here, you little robot.
Some of the guys.
I played these games on a rolling network. That was fun.
So these are, they make
So if it's just sitting though,
That's where you charge it.
it is very, very consistent. Except that it's not today.
Yeah.
We had blinking lights overhead.
But that's infrared, should ignore them. Theoretically, we could turn the lights out. You wanna try that?
Being fluorescent, there's a lot of UV.
Yeah.
Could be that this ink is absorbing UV and emitting an IR.
Started using the water from.
Oh,
You guys are very-
That didn't really seem like it.
Another fine theory shot down.
It's dropped him a good chunk, I thought.
It didn't smooth them out.
Oh, you know what? The LEDs, the infrared sources are probably blinking. What rate are they blinking at?
Well, yeah, but the same robot sitting at my house. If I set it on there, it read 160,
Period. Huh,
period.
wow.
And I gave it a plus or minus.
So what are you doing to make noise? It's your brain that's causing electromagnetic waves.
Seen a low of a 168 in there and a 190.
Okay, so you need to do a floating average. Floating average.
All right, well, I'll play with that. I can play with that. Seemed like,
Were you running it under fluorescent lights at home, Leroy?
no, it was pretty much, my computer room is a fairly dark area. It was pretty dark. So,
But the illumination that is there, was it fluorescent?
it's LED.
Well, those are blinking also.
We turned off the light, so it didn't go away. That's what they tried to get me to do, go away, but I didn't.
Well,
Oh, you do have some noise in there, that's interesting. Yeah, there.
yeah, here. Oh, now it's fairly consistent.
Yeah. Would be different. Change the power supply.
oh, so your battery is getting low?
Possible. That's the consistency I was seeing at the house, though.
So it's a drunk driver syndrome.
Pretty much.
They start being dragged down the road.
And I did this number.
It went
And
up by one.
it went up by one. Not enough to. And then it smoothed back out to 191. Went up by one.
Interesting. More sensitive on one side.
Better on it.
Yeah, well, there was your 192, so it definitely. But that's
virtually meaningless.
Now,
that's
and-
why I didn't put a floating average in there or a smoothing
Mhm.
average, because I got it's fairly consistent.
So
When you-
why is it so?
Turn the lights back on, so see if the,
Oh, wait a minute, you had the cable hooked up this whole time. Yeah,
yeah, because,
Well, yeah,
yeah,
this, but I mean, when he's driving around earlier, when the numbers were all over the place, he didn't.
so the battery could be going low, because I did have it on battery power. So if we turn that back on, now the
crazy.
numbers are going crazy again. And off. And
interesting that there's a jump when that thing didn't move.
See how consistent it is? I just have to barely touch it. I mean, just barely move it. Hi. See, look at my finger, it's just barely touching it.
Turn the battery back on without moving it.
Well, okay.
Yeah, numbers are all over the place. That's weird.
Well,
You don't have a DC battery. It's an AC battery. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. Battery may just need to be charged.
I'm gonna say the DC going off and in and out.
I've got a pretty decent battery pack with me if you want to try plugging it in.
Portable one they can drive around.
It's 7 minutes. I'm not sure if that has enough oomph to pull it.
Oh, we got 7 minutes, huh?
Was I napping that long?
Everybody get to the.
Possible new job and out here coming all day. But I redid my resume till 2 AM.
It's not getting enough. It needs the battery power too.
I mean, that thing will put out like 4 amps. It should be fully charged. I've run a Raspberry Pi 4 off of it for an hour and a half.
No, if it's completely bizarre.
Yeah, the increment is just too large between this speed and that speed. But you got it as narrow as you can get it.
I'm pretty impressed that it works at all.
Yeah, both of them are pretty stable. I'm impressed with both of them.
I'm pretty impressed
I
that
feel left out, I didn't build one.
I'm pretty impressed that just using one analog sensor, you're actually able to make it go around in a circle in the first place. I mean, that's
Yeah, the speed steps are what, 256 steps in the speed control, but it really doesn't go below 52. And
well, and on battery power, it looked like, or on that battery power, it looked like 52 was even too slow.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about.
So,
I haven't actually used this thing in probably 6 months. Maybe it's shot.
maybe it takes the 3.7 volt that it's getting and bumps it up through a. Like a buck, yeah, I bet it does, because there's a buck converter right there. So I bet it takes us 3.7 volts, boosts it up to something closer to 12 volts for the motors. And gives a 3.7 to the microcontroller. And going through the USB, you're only getting 5 volts, so you're not going through the buck converter. You're only going 5 volts.
To the motors. Okay, that makes sense.
I bet that's what it's gonna be. Who knows, because they don't sell this anymore, and what little bit of information they have was almost completely useless.
I thought you were gonna say erased from the interwebs.
Most of the stuff that if I didn't have it to start with, I wouldn't have found it, so. I had some code and stuff and that I had already figured out, that's where this code came from, was because of stuff I had figured out about it. Because of course, they want to program it with Scratch.
Oh, yeah.
Ew, I
Yeah,
hate Scratch.
That's good. Kids don't need to know.
but they don't sell it anymore, so who cares? All
Kids
right,
don't need to know how to do anything anymore.
it's about three minutes till. I'm unspotlighting myself.
Idea is to work. I found
So-
him after.
We are virtual next week, correct?
Yes,
Idea is to stay away from.
So-
the sun.
See, they're not paying any attention to us. I'll see everybody virtually next week.
So long, folks.
take care.
Oh,
we
there's
line-
there's the other Mike.
Bye.
Mike, what's going on? Yeah, did you get Svengoolie? Yeah?
Yeah, I watch it. I don't catch all the jokes like you though.
Oh, okay, you have to be able to fast forward or you don't have the time.
Yeah.
I got fast forward, I can bring the recordings in.
Clearwater.
I think